Good morning, guys. Today I wanted to review the answers to the homework as well as go over a few questions to make sure everyone's on track. After checking the work, I'm seeing a lot of people that are still off track. So I wanted to go over a few things that we're doing that's not going to work for us ever. Okay? So, for those of us who didn't get a chance to watch the video or who ignored the video, try to skip forward and do your own steps, right? I'm getting some people doing this. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, and I can understand why you might try this to see if it works. But it doesn't. Okay? Trust me, this is not going to work for you. Our options for these were simple. Okay? We had two options. Two options was an area model. And the other option, which most people are going to be using, is going to be turning the mixed numbers to improper fractions before multiplying. So, 1 and 1/8, again, we got here, here. Goes around in a circle, guys. 1 times 8 plus 1. Okay, 1 times 8 plus 1. We end up with 9/8 times 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. Again, denominator stays the same. Now we're ready to multiply. Okay. We end up with 90 over 24. I want to take a stop break here because all this work that I'm showing, I'm not seeing. And if I'm not seeing it, I can't trust that you know what you're doing. Okay. And we're getting close to quiz time on this stuff. So today's the day. We got to get on track, and everybody needs to be on board doing it correctly and showing their work. Even if we have to knock back the number of problems, I'd rather you be doing them right than just filling out an answer. Okay, that's the other part of the people that I wanted to talk about. All right, so we end up with 90 over 24, improper fraction. So to go from improper back to a mixed or a whole number, we end up doing what? Divide. Now, all this work I'm writing, I need to see you writing. So, again, 90 divided by 24. How many times does it go in? Oh, well, 24 is about 25, and 90 is about 100, so I could start off maybe 4. Would that work? That's not going to work. What about 3? Again, all this stuff I want to see. Don't erase it. I see erase marks on some people's paper still. 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 72. Can I get any closer? If I add 20 to that, I'd be at 92. So this is as close as I'm going to be able to get. So 3, okay. 24 times 3 is 72. Subtract. Okay. Bring it down, bring it back. We have a remainder of 18. All right. So I come back down here. I say a whole number. It goes in 3 whole times. There's 18 left over. And my denominator stays the same. Am I done yet? No, last step would be simplifying. So in our simplifying step, I say, is there a number that can be divided by, 18 and 24 can be divided by? Okay, in this case, I know my multiplication facts. Oh yeah, I know this will work. 6 is going to work. Divide both by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 24 divided by 6 is 4. 3 and 3/4. And I circle the answer. Okay, this is one problem's worth of work, guys. If your paper doesn't look like this, then I can't trust you know what you're doing, and you can't trust what you know what you're doing, more importantly, okay? I'm going to go through. Normally when I look at these problems for the homework, I go through and I pick a few problems on each person's paper that I check. There's actually check marks by certain problems in the book that say, check these to make sure the kids got it. Okay, this was one of them this time. This is number 12, I'm sorry. Okay, this is number 12 in your book. Again, if I don't see each one of these steps, if I just see 3 and 3/4, doesn't help me. Does the person know what they're doing? I don't know. Again, you can't trick math, guys. When the quiz comes, you're going to have to show it. So you might as well show it now, because if there's an error in there, I can correct you. I've already sent out messages to some people who are showing their work like, hey, you missed this step, or you didn't do this, or you're not simplifying properly. Go back and watch the video and look at the portion about simplifying, or remember how to turn mixed in proper, right? But in order to do that, you have to do the work. Okay, the next problem we're going to go over is number 22, which also includes 21. So once you get computation, like you're able to multiply mixed numbers, the next step is turning it up a notch. Well, I should say multiply and add mixed numbers, and within the same problem. Once you've done that, the next step is to turn it up a notch and go to word problem. Okay? So it's 22, but we need to go over 21 in order to get to 22, because they're related and we have the map here. Okay, so everyone should be looking in their book on page 360, 21 and 22. So 21 says, Bernie and Chloe hiked the Tremont Trail to the end and back. I stop right there, and I'm going to go look at Tremont Trail. 3.5. So we have 3.5, and they went there and back. So I would need to, yes, add, right, the distance. I walk 3.5 there, 3.5 back. All right, come back here. This is Tremont. You can label it if you want to, right? You can put T, Tremont, just so you know what you're doing. Come back here. Then they hiked the Wildflower Trail to the end before stopping to eat lunch. How far did they hike before they ate lunch? Okay, so we stop right there and we say Wildflower. Oh, let's look at the Wildflower. It says 2 3/8. Okay, Wildflower is 2 3/8. Now I'm putting this down here because we'll set it up like it's two separate problems. You don't have to put everything together and show you can set up. They didn't ask for that. So let's just separate it. This portion right here, we got 3 plus 3, which would give us 6, and a half, which is going to be a whole. Again, this is addition. We have the same denominator. That's why we can add the wholes and add the fraction portions. Okay, that's for addition, and we have to have the same denominator. Being this halves, it's easy. 3 and 3 is 6, plus the half and half, going to give you 1, which is a total of 7. Okay, now I'm going to bring down that 7 down here. Okay, we have a whole number and a whole number. Okay, this one doesn't have any fraction, so we're not going to complicate things. Okay, 2 plus 7, 9. We have 9 and 3/8. 3/8 from this portion left over. Okay, is our total for the amount that Chloe and Bernie travel. Okay, so if you look at 21, your answer should be 9 3/8, and I should see something like this. Okay, depending on the person, your brain might work differently. You could have set it up as a whole overall problem, or you can set it up like two separate problems. Bottom line is you get to 9 3/8. Okay, and you're adding the correct numbers. Now 22. Higher order thinking question. Remember, these are the questions that they've determined to be higher order thinking. Okay, so we take the students who know how to do it. Let's give them a question to see their knowledge of it, to see if they really know what they're doing. So 22 says, in one day, Ricardo hiked 2 2/3 times as far as, that's a key word, I'm going to say it again, as far as Bernie and Chloe hiked. So he hiked this as twice, or 2 and 3 2/3 times as far as. That's a big. So 2 and 2/3 times as far as. Okay. Anytime you say somebody did something as far as someone else, okay, you're talking about multiplication. So whatever their distance is, let's take out the fraction. If he said 2 times as far as. Okay, so this is key. 2 times as far as. It literally tells you times in the problem. We have 2 2/3 times 9 3/8. Okay? Again, wrong way is 2 times 9 is 18, 3 times 8 is 24, 2 times 3 is 6. To just go and multiply each part of the problem. You're going to be wrong every time. Okay? Proper way would be, let's say, okay, let's turn these both to improper before we follow our steps. Numerator, denominator, times denominator. So this would be 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. I'm trying to think if I need to move up here or not. 8 over 3. Let me make sure you can see this. Okay. 8 over 3 times 9 times 8 is 72. Plus 3 is 75 over 8. Okay, now that we've gotten here, I'm going to come back up top. It's easy to see and I don't have to smush it. We're going to do numerator, denominator to denominator. So our new fraction is going to be 24ths on the bottom. And 8 times 75, again, this is not anything you need to know off the top of your head. And I don't want you to erase this work. This tells me I'm listening. I know what I'm doing. 5 times 8, 40. 7 times 8, 56. Plus 4 is 600. So we end up with 600 over 24. Okay, we're getting close, but we're not done. So what do we go from here? Improper. We're almost to our answer, but the answer is an improper fraction. We never want an improper fraction as the answer. So we need to turn it back to a mix by dividing again. Show your division work. 600 divided by 24. 24 goes into 6. No. 24 goes into 60. Yes. How many times? Twice. Right? 24 times plus 24 is 48. Or 24 times 2 is 48. Okay, so we end up with the remainder of 12 when we're subtracting. I skipped the whole borrow and stuff. If you're still doing that, no worries. But some of us can look and see, oh, this is 48 is 2 from 50, and 50 is 10 from 60, 12. If you're still borrowing from here and turn this to a 5, turn this to a 10, no problem, guys. Keep doing it. But I'm just going to put, this is our remainder. Bring this down. How many times does 24 go into 120? I don't know that, Mr. Ruffin. Well, guess what? I don't either. But I know how to find it. So we're going to come over here, and I'm going to say, okay, 24 is close to 25. How many times does 25 go into 100? 4 times, right? 4 quarters equal $1. So if we go in 4, we know. Let's try 5, because this is 120. And this is just a little bit less than my number. So let's try 5. 24 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. So 5 was correct. Okay. And looks like it's going in evenly. Perfect. So my answer is 25. And let's not forget the units. And I should have included the units as we went along. But in our answer, I look back up. Everything's in miles, right? Bernie and Chloe's, how far they hike was in miles. Ricardo's, everything was in miles. So my answer would be he hiked 25 miles. Okay? And you've reached your answer. Everyone is still with us and listening. I'm going to now go through the answers. Let's go through 4 through 20, and let's do evens. Okay, so I'll start with number 4. The answer would be 19. Number 6, the answer is 5 3/4. Number 8, the answer is 3 13/14. 3 13 over 14. 10, the answer is 9 3/4. We did 12 together. So we'll go to 14 is 19 1/2. 16 is 9 1/2. 18 is 2 1/8. 19 is 3 and 1/8. I did 19, I'm sorry. And 20, you got a bonus one. And 20 is 4 and 13 over 16. 13/16. 4 and 13 over 16. Good job to everybody who turned in their work properly.